First off, really proud of the way our guys competed tonight. I thought they did a really good job during the course of the game of continuing to execute and stay together. You know, obviously in the first half, turned the ball over to start the game. They had 11. FDU had 11 of their first 15 points basically off our turnovers, and you know, something we got to get under control for sure. Once we were able to kind of steady ourselves a little bit, we were able to get really good high percentage shots. Thought we did a really good job of getting the ball into the paint. Yanis Mendy kind of got us, you know, on solid ground there with a couple of baskets back to back to back that, you know, allowed us to kind of breathe when they were switching defenses a ton, they were switching screens a ton, and we just kind of needed somebody to stabilize, and he did a great job of that. And then in the second half, the first 9 minutes of the second half, I think we had one turnover, and that's where we were able to kind of build our lead. And unfortunately, then we had a couple more turnovers after that, and they were able to get back in it. But I thought really good first conference game for us, especially at home against a talented FDU team.
What was your message to the guys when they cut it to two or three times in the last 3 minutes? What was kind of your message?
You know, just we got to keep playing. I mean, we've got to be a possession by possession team. I mean, I know it sounds so cliche, but that's who we are. You know, we're not a team that goes on huge runs. Like, we almost have to go one step at a time, whether it's a stop, a rebound, followed by a great shot. And that's what we have to be constantly thinking about. When we derail from that plan is when we get ourselves in a little bit of trouble. And so, you know, we just talked about doing what we do each day, and I thought we did a good job executing. Maddie hit a big jump shot, and we got a couple free throws. We got a couple, you know, high percentage looks that were able to kind of settle us, and then we got the stops that we needed at the end. I mean, and I think that's the biggest thing. We were able to scrap some rebounds out. We were able to create, you know, enough turnovers of our own. That was helpful to us. But I think all those things really factored into us being able to win the game.
Oh, Coach, can you talk about, you know, the depth that you guys have, you know, this year? You know, you guys had 9 players with more than 10 minutes in the game, 10 players play. Especially when you guys have guys like Malik Petaway can come off the bench and have a game like he has. You know, how valuable is it to have, you know, be that deep of a team?
You know, I think it's huge, and I think, you know, we talk to our guys about that. You know, like if we can be, you know, 10 deep and guys can all trust that everyone's going to come in and fly around and compete. You know, I thought Cam Wilbon did an awesome job today. I thought it was his most complete game. He was his most urgent game, maybe, right? Hopefully it's something that he can build on, because, you know, he has size and athleticism to be a guy that can guard, you know, some of our opponents' better players if he's engaged. Malik obviously is a guy who, you know, got those 2 fouls in the first half, unfortunately, and then, you know, the second half had some monster plays, and you know, he's really hard to handle. He's so active. He rebounds the ball at a high rate. We're fortunate to be able to have those kind of guys coming off the bench, and I still think we can get more production out of that group, right? I think there's some guys tonight that I think could give a little more and be a little more productive than they are. But it's certainly, when you play Thursdays and Saturdays, it certainly helps, you know, to have multiple guys playing instead of, you know, a small group playing a ton of minutes, because eventually you wear down.
When you did have those, I think it was 14 turnovers in the first half, was it mostly just miscommunications, or what do you think kind of led to that was tripping them up?
You know, I think it was, unfortunately, I think some of them were just some bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I think a couple of them we were a little bit lazy with the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think a couple were some miscommunications. Obviously, we'll go back and we'll review all those, but it seemed like a couple times that we were a little bit frantic when we didn't need to be, and we kind of fumbled it or tried to pass it to somebody that wasn't ready for it. It's obviously something we've been trying to work on, and clearly we need more work on. But it's you know, if we can clean that up, I think we can be an efficient offensive team. But, you know, when you rob yourself of 24 possessions, I mean, especially when you shoot 55% from the field in the game, you know, like if you get 12 more shots, I mean, that's a completely different game, because you're going to make 5.5 of them, you know, 6 of them, and you know, those are the things that we're trying to preach to our guys. If we can, you know, just be a little bit stronger, a little more secure with the ball, it'd be certainly helpful.
Any update on Kobe Thomas? Is it illness again, or is it coach's decision?
He had not practiced from that illness of Saturday, so he'd only been in practice yesterday and just for a short time. So we're trying to figure out, you know, what's going on with him. He said he was still having some ailments today. I thought his body language and his energy on the bench was much better today, which is a good sign. So hopefully he's starting to feel a little bit better, and you know, he's going to see the doctor, and hopefully we can kind of get some stuff sorted out.